the Ontario Federation of Anglers and Hunters proudly presents Angler and Hunter Television. Brought to you by Canadian Tire, Burris Optics, Mercury Marine and Lund Boats, Yamaha ATVs, Browning Ammunition, Browning Firearms, Suffix Fishing Line, Rapala, Camillus Knives and Cuda Tools, Excalibur Crossbows, and Yukon Gear.
I got something. I'm thinking it's a big trout. It's a salmon! That is incredible. Northern Quebec, Leaf River, Atlantic salmon.
Over the past couple decades, I've been privileged to be able to go on fishing excursions all over Canada. And on these trips, I've honestly been able to enjoy some of the most breathtaking scenes nature has to offer. And now through these experiences, I've also seen some pretty cringe-worthy sights.
Oh, I almost hit a deer. Did you see that? That thing ran right in front of me. Those things are crazy. Did you see how close that was?
Be it roadkill, forest fire damage, litter.
Wow, what a pile of junk. It's like 8:30 in the morning. You'd think if you'd walk along the creek drinking beer, you'd keep your empties and get the 10 cents or whatever they're worth. Brutal.
And even poachers, wasting game animals. Of all these cringeworthy sights, the worst might be the damage that can occur when a species goes unmanaged and the population explodes out of control.
Nothing smells as bad as this.
Wow.
And I don't normally throw up because of smells. Ever.
I do. Oof.
Cormorants have become prolific and have set up breeding colonies across almost all of Ontario's inland lakes. They virtually destroy small ecosystems in the areas they colonize.
Oh, my eyes are watering, August. We gotta get out of here.
Having witnessed this firsthand, I can assure you that unpleasant is an understatement.
I can't describe it. Whew. This used to be one of my favorite spots to catch smallmouth.
And anglers, cottage associations, and naturalists alike have all been calling for a management plan to reduce the numbers of this overabundant seabird.
Wow! Hang on to it, Miller.
For 2 decades, the Ontario Federation of Anglers and Hunters has been at the forefront of requesting government control of this overabundant bird. And in 2020, the Ontario government finally introduced a fall hunting season, which marks the first step in utilizing hunters to help create a manageable population of cormorants and minimize their impacts on other fish and wildlife, as well as the habitat and ecosystems that support them.
That's them all sitting in the trees over there?
Yeah, that's the island. They've colonized a couple other little spots on the lake.
Yep.
But this is the one.
This is the main one.
Yeah.
Now this season, I had a trip booked to Kasagami Wilderness Lodge with good friend Richard Yantha from Minn Kota and Humminbird. However, the coronavirus put an end to that trip. So, when I suggested we try cormorant hunting, he was all in.
I had 3 trips canceled this year.
Yeah.
So the boat chain didn't open up
right.
when we normally go. Supposed to go up to Kasagami with you guys, they shut down.
That's right.
And I was supposed to go Fraser for sturgeon again.
Yes.
And they wouldn't let us in.
Mixed.
Yep, so 3 trips.
Well, we'll do Kasagami hopefully next year, but
Yep.
there are recipes for these, eh? I've seen them online.
Can you eat them?
I am curious, but we'll see.
I'm not sure whether I'd want to eat one of those.
This portion of Angler and Hunter Television brought to you by Yamaha ATVs.
Don't mind us.
Don't mind us.
We're just after some bass. Okay, there's your supply.
Only 3 boxes.
Yeah, you only get 60 shots, or what is it, 25 or 20? So 75.
75 shots to get
15 birds. Don't miss much. Famous last words, right? This is a first for both of us, and we weren't sure what to expect. We got a bit of a southeast wind. A few will fly away, but a lot of them will stay.
Okay.
The plan was to hunt a colonized island that the birds had decimated over the past couple years. The island itself was once a vibrant landmark in this lake. Now, the cormorants have nearly completely killed every living thing on the island and reduced it to a desert-like state. It used to be a good place to catch smallmouth bass, too. Just not anymore. So, with the wind just right, we idled upward of the island. And once the Lund drifted into range, we dropped the talons to anchor the boat and got ready. It's either landing while we're here, so I think what I should do is try and spook them and shock them to fly out of the trees.
Yeah.
And then when they start flying, just start picking birds.
You go left, I'll go right.
Pretty much, yeah. Oh, I could have cracked that one. Okay, here we go. They're gonna start leaving.
Now?
Got 3.
I got 1, 2, I think.
So there's 4 down for sure.
4 down and 1 over there, right?
And they're not coming back, are they? They're just sitting in the water.
What do we do with the floating shells?
We'll scoop them up in the net.
Okay.
Here comes another pat. They might come in. Come on, birds. You can do it. Those aren't good. You want to be the net man and I'll drive?
Yep, let's go.
Scoop up any shells you see. I wonder how much of this is going on, like around Ontario today.
Yeah. I didn't actually realize the season opened today.
Yeah.
I thought it was open
I mean, my dad, he's 75 and doesn't hunt anymore. Still keeps his hunting license and everything up, but he's probably at the end of his dock shooting because he always has them on the rocks out there. It's like pelican hunting. I might try and smoke a few. Just cut the breasts out, smoke them into like jerky, and give them for my dog.
Dog treats?
Dog treats. Well, they're bigger than I thought.
That's a bigger bird than I thought too.
Holy, look at the feet on them. Like, that's why they're such good swimmers. Powerful, webbed, giant feet. And they can roost.
Massive beak.
They bite.
Oh, do they?
So we'll make sure they're dead before we pick them up. The initial flush of birds from the trees seemed to be the most effective strategy. This allowed us to scoot around with the Minn Kota and scoop up the birds we had down.
Day 1 of the season. Got him.
We even had several cottagers, boaters, and anglers stop us and compliment us on our efforts to reduce the number of birds in this area. Now you're getting good, huh?
Yeah, this is getting fun now.
Here comes one for you, left side. Land. I dare you. Small groups and singles would intermittently pass, giving us some great wing shooting. How do you call these things? But it was plain to see these birds were now pretty wary about returning to the island.
You don't have to.
Call them just like that. Well, that's one more. One more for the pot. I'm impressed with this 20 gauge. I got this for August, right? When she gets her license, she can. But I shot pheasants with it, and it's.
Really?
Yeah. I'm a big fan of 20s.
I got them both. I got both 20 and 12, but for some reason I always grab the 12.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's just a habit.
Oh, you got them, dude. Look at that shot.
There.
Beautiful.
Landed perfectly.
Put them right on the island. But I mean, if you look at that ammo,
yep.
It's a lot like fish finders, and the technology's so advanced now that when you're shooting a 12, that pattern is so tight on that that a lot of times, if you try and shoot something close, like I've shot turkeys with my 12 at turkeys and missed at 20 yards because my pattern's like this tight.
Right.
And if you're, if you beat it on the turkey's head, for instance, you could miss it by half an inch, and the whole.
So the shot pattern on that is wider than this one here?
Yeah.
So that's why you gave me this gun, is that?
I offered. But that one, I mean,
Oh, it's a beauty gun.
you should be able to slam them out further, but you got
Yeah.
to just lead them. It's deceiving
The next one. There's one coming.
how these birds fly. Come on, do it. We dare you. Double dog dare you. We might have to double team them. 3, 2, 1, shoot them. Did you shoot?
Yeah.
Me too.
Oh,
How
really?
did 2 guys pull? Oh, they were all swimming right behind us. So there's 50 of them right there.
didn't
We
see them
shot one.
flying
And
off.
they're all coming
Yeah,
back.
they're all coming back now, eh? Hold on a second, now we need more bullets.
That was a great shot.
This portion of Angler and Hunter Television brought to you by Minn Kota and Humminbird.
Here we go. Come on in, boys. Come and dry your wings. Shoot them. Nicely done.
That was fun.
I think that's what, when we talked about coming out cormorant hunting, it's a wildlife management tool, but people automatically think, oh, you're just going to go out and shoot 30 and go home. But no. We might be out here for 3-4 hours and not get a limit of them, right?
No. You wonder if you're shooting them, would they actually get it in them to that,
Not come back
It's
here.
not a safe place anymore,
Right.
right? And find another spot.
Yeah. We'll ask all those questions. We got a biologist in the office that we'll get the answers from.
Yeah.
Lauren Tonelli is a resource management specialist with the Ontario Federation of Anglers and Hunters, and she explains in detail the effects cormorants are having.
Cormorants can easily feed off of the Great Lakes and not really have a huge impact. The Great Lakes are a massive fishery that are doing pretty well, especially with the help of alewife around Goby to feed the cormorants. But we're seeing them really start to move off of the Great Lakes and come more inland into Ontario. And that's what our major concern is, because Ontario, it has a wealth of small lakes and river systems that are home to pretty sensitive species like brook trout that might not be able to come back if a cormorant gets into a lake that's primarily brook trout. Cormorants are piscivorous, which means that they only eat fish. What's interesting about how they eat fish is they have a very specific size range of fish that they eat. So they can consume a fish anywhere between 5 centimeters and 30 centimeters, but they really hone in on that 10 to 20 centimeter range, and they'll eat up to a pound of fish a day, an adult cormorant will.
Here, come and check this out.
Cormorant guano, so their poop, is very acidic.
Look at, they're just coated. It's like they've been painted. And almost
Crazy.
the tops of every branch is just coated in that white. It's amazing how they just destroy it.
There's really good evidence that where there's a cormorant colony, there's a loss of tree canopy cover, ground vegetation, and even bird diversity.
There's a bunch of dead birds on shore there. See them?
Oh, yeah.
I don't think they're cormorants.
Seagulls?
Seagulls or young ones? I don't know.
So they decrease what other birds are there, obviously wipe out the tree canopy, not only from their guano, but they also build their nests out of strips of bark. So they'll go and they'll take strips off of the trees that they're nesting in, which also leads to the tree's health decline. Our major concern with a lot of that is that once they remove the vegetation on the island, it's very likely that the species that recolonize it afterwards are going to be invasive or exotic, because invasive plants absolutely love to recolonize a disturbed area. That's why they're invasive. They're very good at outcompeting other species. And if given the opportunity to show up at a disturbed area like the cormorant colony, the invasive plants will do much better than the native plants will. Cormorants are going to be fine in Ontario. There are many populations that are in areas that you can't hunt, and they will continue to exist in Ontario.
Well, it's almost as I predicted. They don't want to come back. I don't know what we got. We probably got close to 20.
I was just going to say 20 birds probably.
Almost a limit between the two of us.
There's one coming right over us.
Oh yeah, he's coming right to you. Coming right for us. Smoot him. Holy smokes, Richard.
That was fun.
You make it look easy.
I think he flew right towards me.
Pretty good shot. Now, you don't do a lot of waterfowling.
This is actually the first time I've been
Hunted
out.
birds.
Hunted birds, yes.
Are you kidding me?
Yep.
Now, goose hunting or duck
Nope,
hunting's
never goose hunted, duck hunted.
never interested you, or you just haven't
No,
had the
I've
opportunity?
just never had the opportunity.
Really?
Nope.
Now you're going to have to
quick.
come on a goose hunt with me.
Yes. Have to get into this.
And then, it is fun waterfowling, right?
Yes.
You know, it's a lot of guys, when they first announced this hunt, they said, not many guys are going to do it.
Yep.
It's ammo's expensive, you know. I might try and eat one of these just because I'm kind of crazy like that. But the same thing, you got to use steel shot. And they're a pretty tough bird, as you can see, right?
Yes.
So make sure you're using steel shot. I'm using 3-inch number 2s. He's using 3-inch number 2s. 20 gauge, he's shooting a 12. Either way, it's not such a historic event, but I mean, it's pretty cool of you to get out here and do it with
Isn't
me.
it historical? It's the opening day of first season ever, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. And I mean, just look at that island.
It's disgusting.
Insane how it's just been ruined.
The Hunting Edge is brought to you by Browning Ammunition.
To get the edge over the birds, we use the Minn Kota talons to lock the Lund Pro V bass in place, a Browning A5 12 gauge, and a Browning BPS 20 gauge were our firearms of choice. Browning BXD waterfowl loads in number 2 shot were lethal and dropped these birds cleanly. And of course, a Lucky Strike net made scooping up our birds and empty shells a cinch.
Can you believe that? We just left.
Sitting
We're
there
on the
watching
electric
us.
heading down the lake. We're, I don't know, 500 yards off the island, and literally
Look at 2, 4,
there's
6.
cormorants everywhere coming back to land.
There's
Look
a
at
couple
this.
dozen of them right there now.
They were waiting for us to leave. They are smart.
Look at, they're all landing now. So would they be smart enough to leave if we actually came right up on them now?
Oh, well, you're going to find out. I'm going to drive way up at top of the island
Yeah.
and then just float back to it. You got lots of ammo?
I got 3 in there.
So you'll take the right tree, I'll take the left tree?
Yep. Just like we started the day.
Can't believe they just came back like that.
So fast.
Land, do it. Yes.
And just let me know when to start blasting.
Pick your shot. This is the highlight of the day right here. Patience. Almost. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
We got one leaving. Okay, I say we just focus on this one tree, Richard.
Okay, I'll take the ones on the right.
Yeah.
Let me know when.
They seem to be pretty comfortable, pecking and frolicking.
We gotta go. Ready? Go.
Now. That was a good drift.
That was a real good drift. They weren't even moving, eh? They coming back? No. Got him.
After a pretty successful hunt, we dispatched of the birds as recommended in the regulations. But to be honest, I'm curious what these birds might be like smoked or made into jerky.
That's a full live well.
Oh, Richard, over your head.
Yeah.
I'll get him.
You get him. Wasn't ready.
I wasn't either. See, all the fishing tools come in handy.
That's a nice size one.
He's clapping.
We got clapping going on.
Get a round of applause, Richard. You're a hero.
So next season, I'm definitely going to be hunting cormorants, and I might just have a recipe that will have you cooking up some cormorants of your own.